Hey everybody, how's it going? Hopefully that wasn't too loud and hopefully I didn't blow out your speakers right from the get-go, but if nothing else, you're awake now. Now, let's talk about JP. This is going to be a short video, but I do want to talk a little bit about something that is a team that is formed on JP that is a wee bit scary and potentially a warning slash, I don't know, advising, like, hey, do you want to be an asshole? Hey, do you feel that in Wotv you want to torture somebody to death and you just want them to die miserable, alone, and sad? Well, tell them to go play an EA. No, 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 no. Jokes aside, we're going to be talking about a team, and this team, I'm going to see if I can't find it in Arena, which is why I'm essentially just skipping ahead. I'm not really that interested in a lightning team versus showing off a lightning team versus a water team, but I'm interested in getting points. So on JP, recently there have been a slew of great characters. Oldoa is actually one of them. She's actually a really, really good unit, and people have been enjoying her. And, oh shit, sure enough, I found it right away. Damn it. All right. So yes, talking about Oldoa, she has been a super, super good character in certain teams. Dario has been a super, super great character in certain teams. And Helena has been super, super great in a bunch of different teams. However, this seems to be the new team that I would best describe as fuck whoever came up with this in the first place. May they burn and rot in the deepest circles of hell. Because this is a miserable ass team to go up against. Now, here's why. First off, you're looking at multiple auras here that are essentially constantly active. Now, it's an oppressive team, as a matter of fact. It's an impressive, oppressive team. Physical reduction auras are capable here from one of the characters. Magical reduction auras are capable. AoE reduction auras are capable. And constantly healing with multiple attacks is something that all of these characters effectively do. So what you are essentially looking at here is a magically inclined team that effectively grinds out the other team in a very, very, very nasty way, in which essentially there really isn't too terribly much you can do here, because the characters are, if they are in the same area, all of these auras are constantly buffing everybody, and then they can just heal up with their own attacks. So we're actually going to take a run in on this, especially since we found him. And I'm not saying that this team should win or whatnot. Obviously, if we look at the opponent here, they haven't even maxed out the characters, but this is something that in PvP is really incredibly frustrating to fight, at least from some people who are still pretty heavily playing Wotv. Some people are even going so far as to say that this is the I don't want to play this team anymore. Even like dodge-based teams aren't good against this because they can't effectively kill the opponents, and most of the time you just end up hitting the turn limit, and that doesn't really work out well for you. I have to say that I think that overall this is one of those teams that the balancing probably should have picked up on a little bit more. And I don't even know, since it's a multi-elemental team, it's not like it can be focused on or balanced sort of against. It just seems like a team that if you grind out the reincarnations enough, it just gets scarier and scarier as it gets harder and harder to kill. And so I'm bringing this up as a warning now to global players, potentially to global players who want to be colossal assholes. Maybe there is a little bit more on global to back against this, but it does seem a tiny bit scary about how capable this team could effectively be, because you run across the field with all of these auras and bonuses in effect, like maybe you need to run a fair bit more of Dispel to kind of get this to happen properly. But you can see we just didn't really do that much already. And here comes a Limit Burst, which you can skip because it's not that interesting. But you can see very high power, immediate heal directly onto each other. Our characters are still kind of just trying to do too much of anything right now. Multiple hits with potentially high damage. With, again, very, 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 very high healing. And as we've said before, this is a team that is not even necessarily that maxed yet, but as you can see, doing a pretty good job of just flat out completely destroying us. Hitting us with tons of status effects. We're berserked, we're slept, we're dead. And so, yeah, this is the team that is kind of scary right now. And I would even go so far as to say it's incredibly scary. I think that the amount of tanks that have come out recently is just so incredibly frustrating. And I feel like this shows just that kind of general frustration of situations that you can end up against. And there isn't really too much you could do. And it can potentially get even worse, as those characters were not necessarily even maxed, or not necessarily even the best of equipment. So yeah, there isn't really too much else to say. I don't necessarily think I'm going to find it too much more at these lower ranks. It is something to be wary of into the future because it's coming to the global version near you, and the best description for it might just be not fun. It never will be fun, and you'll be quite sad to ever go up against it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and see you later.